Hey folks, this is BestInSlot. Welcome back to Jurassic World Evolution mod spotlights with possibly the most exciting mod we've ever covered, and that is breeding in Jurassic World Evolution. We talked about this a little bit on Friday, but Kaiodenic has released the proper mod today. I'll link it down below, of course, and also I will link Kaiodenic's YouTube channel, which you should absolutely go check out. Unfortunately, I don't think the goats breed quite yet, but that would be amazing. So, how this mod works is very simple. If you download it, you'll be able to download one of 5 versions, going in slow speed to maximum speed. There is a normal recommended one. I'm on maximum speed for the purposes of this video. And basically, you just need 2 dinosaurs in the same environment, in the same habitat, of the same species. And then you need to make sure their social and population limits aren't being hit. So if a dinosaur has a population limit of 10, you can't breed it past 80%, so that would be 8. You can finagle that a little bit as well, which we'll talk about later on. I am very curious about this. This isn't mentioned on the mod page. Will 2 dinosaurs with different skin patterns breed and generate a baby with the skin pattern of one of the parents? You know, will it be randomized between the 2? Will he always make the same kid? Stuff like that. So we're going to release a slightly different looking Struthiomimus. Lovely stuff. Grand. So we've got our 2 Struthies. They've got a nice high social and population limit. I am playing on Sandbox. I was wondering if maybe having no limits at all was also a problem, so I got rid of that. Now, it is worth mentioning I am on the maximum breeding rate, so this is the quickest your dinosaurs will ever breed and is not the recommended amount. But to make sure it works and to make sure we can see it in action, we're going to use Kaiodenic's time skip mod, which I highlighted on Friday. I'm just going to speed up time. And hopefully, what we're going to see at some point is a 3rd Struthiomimus magically pop out of nowhere. I have installed the mod correctly. I've already confirmed that with myself. Come on, Struthies. Who wants a baby? Who wants a baby? Everyone wants a baby. Basically, it'll randomly... I don't know if it's random, but it'll designate one of them as the mother, and the child will inherit the stats of said mother. Aha! Ooh! You see that happened so suddenly. Okay, no, cool, yeah, so it did take the skin of the second... So maybe the blue Struthie is always the mother, or is it random every single time? I don't know. So one thing I want to check then is if we have a look at the Struthie and we go into its stat page, which is there. So if we keep these in mind, 61, 40, 54. Can I remember that? Is that too many numbers? 614054. And we go check this one. It might be 614054. So there's no mutation that time. Mutations aren't guaranteed. One of them is common, there's some rare ones and stuff like that. But basically, sometimes when they pop out a kid, these stats will change. Wait, 61 or 51? 61. Okay, so we'll let it happen a little bit more. You'd assume that as they breed, they'll breed more and more often, right? Now, what I'm very curious about is... Oh, hello. No, not for you, Rexy. It's not for you. What I'm assuming is as they breed... We'll get more and more of them, but I'm curious whether they'll all be blue. Will, you know, some of them change colour? Will we get some white ones and some blue ones? We'll have to wait and see. Because if we get some white ones, that would assumedly prove that the mother is randomly determined, and that the mod isn't somehow attributing gender or sex to... Oh, we just got another one. It's another blue one. The noise is insane, yeah. Okay, so we should, like I said, that breeding rate should start to climb a little bit. There's now 4 of them. I'm pretty sure incest is not a thing they're, you know, particularly against, so they should breed with each other. There we go. Oh my god, hello. Now the problem is, as soon as you get one blue one, the chances of getting more blue ones obviously goes up at a fairly alarming pace. But, yeah, it works. I think we can clearly see it works. We're getting absolutely surrounded. Oh, wait, that is another white one. Okay, so it seems that the mother is randomly determined because this first white one over here, Struthiomimus 001, was the father in the first breeding that went on and now has become the mother in the second one, basically. That's very Jurassic Park of them, actually. Okay, so the fact that this works perfectly does make me think that this is either a carnivore thing. Oh wait, no, it worked. Oh, hello. You know what it might be? It might be just because they're so spread out. I've put them in such a massive habitat that it's causing problems. Okay, I'm going to cut that first bit out of the video. Basically, I wondered if Return to Jurassic Park skins were unable to breed with each other, because I had these raptors out here for absolutely ages and nothing was happening. But if we do this... Are they all in there? Yeah. It seems that it might just be a problem caused by having, you know, a ginormous habitat where they're very rarely even next to each other. Well, the raptors are going at it. We've got 4 raptors now. I just want to see the Rexes breed at least once. That's all I'm looking for here. Okay, so I left it for a little bit and we've ended up with 5 Velociraptors. Now, that's probably approaching their social limit, so the raptors will no longer breed. If we hop down here, the Struthies have bred like absolute wildfire, but they're probably... Actually, they're fine to keep going. So the next test is whether if we remove those social limits, will the raptors continue breeding past 5, and will the Rexes breed? Because of course the Rex social limit is, well, 1, seemingly, at the moment. We don't have the genes in, so we need to try to remove those and see if they'll breed into the sandbox limits rather than their sort of default in-game limits. I suspect they will. I suspect I just messed up earlier by having a ginormous habitat. Right, let's go Rexes, let's see what you've got. Okay, so despite sitting here for several minutes on maximum speed, there are still only Velociraptors, and there's still only 2 Tyrannosaurus Rexes. Even the Struthiomimuses have stopped breeding, even though, you know, we're on sandbox and population social should, in theory, go much higher. So what I suspect is happening is, rather than the sandbox mode changing the value of population and social to an infinity symbol, it more like disables the value all the... I don't know much about this subject, but it basically disables the stat, or it stops the stat being relevant to how the game plays. But if you looked under the hood, the dinosaur would still have those original population and social limits. They're just not being looked at. So when Kaio's mod is trying to determine whether a dinosaur can breed, I think it's looking at those numbers, and that's why it's not working, basically. So, in order to test this further, I've made another 2 Rexes, but we've used the genes introduced in Dr. Wu, and made its social limits. You can't really see it there, but if we put it off, we put these back on, boop, boop, then you'll see their social limits are, you know, much higher. It actually needs dinosaurs to be happy. So hopefully, if we speed this one up, we should end up with some baby Rexes. I've made them the exact same. We've got the 1993 and 1997 patterns, so they match the other 2 Rexes that we were playing with a little bit earlier. And that noise, that thing up there means there is breeding, but it wasn't the Rexes, so the Struthies must still be going at it. Okay, whatever I do, the Rexes simply will not breed. There's still 2 of them. Again, I sat here for quite a long time and no movement whatsoever. So what I've done as another test, because obviously the genes don't seem to be having an effect, is I've taken dinosaurs that we know can breed, as in these Velociraptor 1993 variants, which we've bred over there already, and I've applied the same gene to them. So their gene, as you see, their social limit is now higher than it is for the other ones over there. So if these ones don't breed as well, like the Rexes aren't, then that means it's because the gene that affects population and social limits does not affect these dinosaurs, basically, and it's still pulling from a different number, although I'm pretty sure they've bred already. So, no, clearly the gene does affect... I've got no idea what's going on with these Rexes then. Why aren't they breeding? Is it because they're under their social limit already? What if I pop out... Wait, what? Wait, okay, let's... I don't know anymore. I don't know anymore. Wait, I've got one last theory we can try, I suppose. Okay, now we know it works for the raptors, this is a good time for me to showcase some of the new genes that the mod itself actually brings in. If we hop over here to social, we've got our group, our cross-species, blah blah blah, but then we also have breeding countermeasures, and we also have breeding stimulation. So breeding countermeasures makes it less likely your dinosaurs will breed, and breeding stimulation, of course, increases that chance. So if you wanted to install this mod and have it running as part of your default game, but you didn't want your dinosaurs to breed very often, or you had certain dinosaurs you didn't want to breed, but certain dinosaurs you did, you could use these to stimulate or countermeasure that as you went along. There is actually one more, if I can find it. Yeah, so in Lifespan, we have ones called breedable pack size expansion and limitation. So what this does, I believe, and there's one for population as well. So this is about their social limits, and basically, as I mentioned, it's 80%. So let's say a dinosaur has a social need of 10. You can't breed it past 8. So what you can do though is limit those further, as in, you know, it won't breed past 50%, 60%, 70%, I think is what those numbers probably are, or indeed the same for its population, or we can increase that number from 80% to 100%, so a dinosaur will breed up to that 10 mark. So, we're gonna breed 5 Tyrannosaurus Rexes with the 100% marker in. I don't even need to make it 5, do I really? Then we can go for. I'm gonna breed 3 Rexes, so they're at the bottom of their social need, and then hopefully, hopefully, they'll breed a 4th. I hope. I don't have much else to go on at this point. I've tried many things, and I just can't make my Raptors bang it out. My Raptors, that was Rex and Raptor together, by the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome.
Okay, so 3 Rexes. If we slow down time for just a second. They're social, they're in it, but there is a little bit more room, and they should, in theory, be able to breed a little bit higher than that. They should be able to breed a 4th Rex. In theory. Wait, it works! Okay, so I think I found the problem then. But you know, I tried it over here, as you can see, and that, you know, didn't really take. These have so the reason these ones aren't breeding, even though they've still got a little bit of social room, is because I didn't put in that expansive social gene to allow them to breed up to 100%. So they've bred up to 80%, but they can't breed any further. These ones, because they have that gene, were able to max out their social need and breed into that gap. Likewise, the Raptors, they're, you know, probably not maxed out, right? It's only up to 80%, yeah. Okay, so I think the reason the Rexes weren't breeding was, first of all, sandbox mode does not remove those breeding and population limits. They are the number your dinosaur was bred with, regardless of whether sandbox mode exists. Secondly, it seems like a dinosaur needs to hit its minimum social need in order to breed any further, which is why when we had 2 Rexes here, right, basically at some point we had 2 Rexes here in this setup here where they could breed up to 6, but they never bred. Because I'm assuming because they didn't have the 5 minimum they needed. So I don't know if you need, I'm sure you need 2 of every species for obvious reasons, but I think you may also need to hit those basal social limits. I could be interpreting that wrong, but I don't see any other reason this Rex exhibit over here wouldn't have worked. We had 2 Rexes, we had a population and social limit above 6, and they were left to do their own thing. They should have bred. And these ones did, because they're good eggs. Hello, good eggs, how do you feel? Eggy? Good stuff. Right, this was a lot of testing and a lot of science to figure out how this mod exactly works. It's a really cool mod, obviously. You know, it lets you build a Site B, a proper open Site B. I love that we've got all these different colours coming in as well. You could chuck out 4 different Struthiomimuses of 4 different colours, and eventually you'd end up with this huge cavalcade rainbow of Struthies, which would be really cool. Yeah, it's awesome. I can't recommend it enough. If you've wanted breeding in the game, well, this is the best you're ever going to get, quite frankly. So definitely go download it, give it a go, give it a play before Evolution 2 comes out. As I say, Kaio has plans to move his mods onto Evolution 2 when it comes out, so that's something to look forward to as well. And you can just make a Site B. All you need to do is set the... I mean, if you've got the breeding set to high, then your carnivores... let them max out their social need. Let's say my Rexes and my Struthies were mixed together at this point. The Rexes wouldn't breed any more than they already have, and the Struthies would keep breeding back up to their population limit. So you can literally just do a full-on Site B. The only problem is the mechanical herbivore feeders, but beyond that, it'll go forever, which is amazing. The problem, of course, if you had a massive raptor pack or something, and your smaller herbivore pack, maybe it would end up imbalanced and the raptors would kill all the herbivores before the herbivores could breed back and retaliate. But, you know, something like Struthies where there's so many of them, I just don't see it being a problem. Awesome, yeah, right, big shout out to Kaio. Like I said, check out their channel and the link to this mod down below. And I'll see you lovely folks next time. Thank you so much for joining me. Cheers, much love as always. Bye-bye.
reaching out.